Okay guys, we are going to work on our doodle note in this video. We're going to be talking about the design process. Doodle notes, much like sketch notes, they do involve some color, some doodling in of different areas. I don't expect everything to be colored in, but I do expect that you do have some color, and I do expect that it makes sense. You can't just take a crayon and color all over everything randomly. As you see here, I have things colored in a sensible manner. You can tell that this arrow here is going to be going with this section and so on and so forth. So those are the things that I'm going to be looking at besides you having completed the notes as we talked about them. So the design process is an engineering design process, and it's nothing more than a problem solving process. It's a process that all of us go through whether we realize it or not, but we're going to kind of formalize it. So on our process, I'm going to start with the up here. Now this can go backwards and forwards as we need to. So we're going to start with define the problem. And when we mean define the problem, first we have to figure out what's wrong. Who does it impact? Maybe why is it a problem? What would make it solvable? So what are you looking for in order to have a solution? So what is an acceptable solution? And maybe we also need to know, what do we have to work with? So the next one we're going to come to is we're going to go generate concepts. That's an easy one. That's a lot of brainstorming. Remember, when we brainstorm, there's no bad answers, and we want as many as possible. This is also, we're going to research and see if there's other similar problems out there. And if there are, what did they do to solve them? Okay, this is a research, brainstorming, figuring it all out. Down here, we're going to come down to design a solution. And at this point, we are going to take these things for brainstorming, and we're going to pick an idea to work on. Okay, this is where we're going to make our plans, which is probably going to be a drawing. We're going to make our lists of materials we need. Okay, all that kind of thing. Think about this as your prep after you have your idea. Okay, then we're going to come down here to this one. This one is build and test. Just like it sounds, we are going to build or construct the possible solution. And then we have to test it to make sure it works and or what improvements it needs. Okay, now when we come here, we're going to come over here and we're going to say evaluate the solution. Okay, so we're going to say, did it solve it? Yes or no? If it did, can we improve it? Okay, pretty much simple. So if this didn't solve it, or if it did solve it but only sort of and we can make it improve, we have to come back over here, maybe even all the way up to brainstorming or research, and see if there's something else that needs to be done. Come back and do the design a solution, come back and build and test, and then keep evaluating the solution. So these steps might be back and forth multiple times. So we need arrows that show us going both ways, right? Okay, because we might have to do back and forth in these several times. When you go back and forth and you're improving, and it's called iterate. ITTERATE. Iterate. We are going to see that multiple times, or you're going to hear it as iteration. This final step up here is present the solution. All present solution means is tell people. Tell people your solution. You might present it to the to the stakeholders, which are the people that had the problem, in a verbal presentation. You might make a PowerPoint or a slideshow. You might make a video, but you have to communicate your solution. Otherwise, you haven't completed the design process. If you have this solved, but you never tell them you have it solved, you can never help them. And in order to complete the cycle, you have to actually be able to help. So that's it. That's all I'm expecting. Have a good afternoon.